So, this is the first unboxing video I will do. I decided to get a perfume called Youth Dew by Estee Lauder, which is quite an old perfume with a long history. It's from 1953, and actually I haven't opened it. Well, I've opened the plastic, but I haven't really seen what's inside. So, you can see here, talking about how it's all recycled cardboard and everything. So this perfume is unique for quite a few reasons, mainly because it was not created as a perfume at first, but instead a bath oil. And women liked it so much that they demanded pretty much a perfume, which Estee Lauder then provided. So the interesting thing also is that back in the 50s and before, it really wasn't common for women to buy their own perfume. Rather, they would wait for men to give it to them as gifts. I guess that was the appropriate line of action back then. But Youth Dew was one of the first perfumes that kind of promoted women to buy their own scent, which is, it was kind of a revolutionary thing back then. But let's see if I can open this box here. The cardboard is very stiff, but let's see. Alright, I'll show you the grand opening here. Alright, so, mainly, some more packaging. Nice paper here, and of course, the quote. So, I haven't torn into this yet. It says "Beauty is an Attitude" by Estee Lauder. Let me carefully remove this. So, here's the paper here. Nice and crunchy, I guess. And sticker. I'll open that. So, there are actually two options for the bottle. I'll show you the one I have and then the one I wanted to get but decided not to. Here's the box. Oh. Okay, so Youth Dew, Eau de Parfum. Pretty basic, slightly glossy bottle. It has a nice texture on it. So the modern look of the Youth Dew bottle is kind of clear, crystalline. Here. It has a nice little golden bow and this kind of bronze color, almost like very similar to the color of liquor, maybe whiskey or something similar. Nice shiny metallic cap at the bottom. So, the thing about this bottle, I got this straight from the Estee Lauder website, and they have two bottles available. That one, you know, which is kind of a newer design, and then they have the old-fashioned bottle, which is a kind of blue curvaceous bottle. It says Youth Dew on the front, and that was the original Youth Dew bottle that, you know, was sold in the 50s and 60s, I believe. I don't know when they discontinued the that bottle, and I don't know when they switched to this one. But this is currently the one that they usually sell. The reason why I didn't get the vintage bottle, because I did want to get the vintage bottle, the reason is that it's a smaller bottle for the same price as this one, which is 2.25 fluid ounces. The vintage bottle, I think, was only 1 ounce for the same price for about $40, which I don't see the point. So I just decided to get the larger bottle. So let me rummage through some of this paper here. I was able to choose a free sample, which is this. It's what is it? Revitalizing Supreme Cream. So apparently that's supposed to do something for the skin. But other than that, besides this nice paper, that's pretty much it for the box. Empty. But now, I must review the perfume. So, I actually have a small sample already of Youth Dew here. And you could see the color is pretty much the same. So I already kind of know what it smells like, but since I like it so much, I decided to get the full bottle. Also, the full bottle just looks quite nice. So here's the top, and I think the cap is plastic, but it does have that metallic sheen. The bottle, of course, is glass, and this bow, it feels like leather, but it might be, you know, a cheaper material. So I'll put some on my wrist here. Okay, there. Okay, so it smells really good. So it actually smells a bit different than my sample. But okay, now it's starting to get more to what I'm already accustomed to. So this is a very kind of musky perfume. It has notes that you really wouldn't find in modern perfume these days. And I'm drowning, and they do a bit too much with the packaging, I have to say. I'll put that over here. So the top notes are immediately spicy. So right away you get spices, aldehydes, narcissus, lavender, orange bergamot, and peach. Now this list also lists Coca-Cola as a note, which I disagree. I don't think there's any notes of Coca-Cola in here. I would say that this is... It reminds me of like the basic spices of cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, allspice, you know, kind of all those. I don't see where the Coca-Cola comes in. I don't really think that's in there. And the citrus notes are very fine, very... not the fresh citrus notes you might expect. They're more toned down and richer. It reminds me of as if they've been dried, you know, dried or cooked slices of orange or lemon or something like that. So the middle notes also consist of more spices like cloves, cinnamon, rose, lang lang, jasmine, lily of the valley, cassia, and orchid. So those spices are pretty much on all the layers. This is, needless to say, a very spicy perfume. But those floral notes in the middle do come through. I would say that the rose and maybe the jasmine are the most prominent out of all of the floral notes. And again, it's more of like a dried floral, more of a rustic rather than fresh floral. And the base notes consist of incense, tulip balsam, oak moss, patchouli, amber, vetiver, vanilla, and musk. So the vanilla is also prominent. Like, I would say it's one of the more prominent notes of the entire perfume, along with the musk. Now, on the other hand, the incense, I always compare incense notes to Shalimar because Shalimar is the most incensey perfume I've ever come across. So in contrast to that, it does have that resinous, smoky quality, but not as pure incensey and smoky as Shalimar. It's a little bit weaker in the incense category. But besides that, it does have that amber, it does have that resin, it does have that a little bit of sweetness from the vanilla, kind of but a rich kind of bourbon vanilla sort of thing. And it's not really sweet only a little bit of sweetness from the vanilla, but other than that, it's a very just spicy, kind of full-bodied perfume. And you could definitely tell it's from a different age, because you would pretty much never come across a scent that smells like this. These days, modern perfume producers usually opt for fresher scents, the fresh linen feel, or citrus or fruity notes, sweeter, lighter things. This is definitely, even though it's called Youth Dew, it's definitely a more mature fragrance, naturally, because, it's several decades old, 1953, that's quite a long time ago. And when it first came out, it was insanely popular, especially in America. Tons of women used to wear it because it was a luxury product, but it was an affordable luxury product. And for that reason, women, especially women in the suburbs who wanted the finer things in life, they really flocked to this product because they could get their hands on it without having to spend hundreds of dollars. So that's one of the main reasons why it was so popular, and a lot of people find that this is arguably one of the most nostalgic fragrances around because it was so popular for, the 50s and the 60s. And today, people often associate this smell with their grandmothers or their aunts or, older women in their lives, because this perfume was popular when they were young. So today, it kind of has more of a cult following, not really mainstream. A lot of people don't really know about this perfume anymore. I personally quite like it. It does remind me a lot of Shalimar, and it does have a luxurious feel, but at the same time, it still maintains its affordability. Usually on Estee Lauder's website, I believe it's around $44. I got it on sale for $30, which is nice. And in general, that's a really good price for a well-made perfume, because, of course, there are perfumes that are hundreds of dollars, sometimes $400, $500, $600. So if you don't want to spend that much, most people don't want to spend that much on perfume, you can always opt for a cheaper alternative that is still high quality, still has an air of luxury. And in a sense, it is now a very unique perfume, since its popularity has decreased over the decades. So now if you wear it, some people might not recognize it. They might find it to be a very strange or interesting scent. And because it is so different from what people usually wear these days. And I personally like it because of its very warm and musky qualities. It has a naturalness to it, probably from, I guess, the oak moss, maybe the vetiver or amber, but it's not cloying, it's not sickeningly sweet, and it doesn't blind you with alcoholic notes when you first put it on. It's really more of a down low sort of warm and musky scent. And for that reason, it's also a very, very strong scent. Yeah, when I first tried the sample, I was actually kind of dubious about what to think about it, mainly because I accidentally put on too much, so I was kind of being blinded. It almost gave me a headache, but when I tried it the second time, I put on far less, and I quite liked it. So, word of the wise, use this very sparingly. This is like a serious spice bomb. Probably the original spice bomb of all the perfumes. So definitely this is not something you want to drench yourself in. Experiment, just start out with one spritz and see. I mean, even I just did one spritz and it's emanating, it's very strong. So, and the interesting thing is this deep dark musky quality that it has, you really wouldn't expect it from 1953, because you usually associate that time with women being very put together, kind of this perfect idol of femininity, but this kind of muskiness counteracts that visage. So you can imagine this woman in this perfect, floral dress or something, and perfect hair, jewelry, all feminine, but then she has this more masculine kind of sultry scent to throw you off. So it adds a layer of complexity and of interest, I think, to the wearer. So of course, not everyone will like this perfume. If you're accustomed to light, floral, fruity, sweet perfumes, and if you just prefer those, you probably won't like this, because it is very heavy, not syrupy, but it has just that smoky, just thick quality. So, on the other hand, if you do like muskier scents, spicy scents especially, you would most likely enjoy this perfume. I do wonder how it has changed compared to the original 1953 version. Usually older perfumes go through some sort of reformulation at some point. But from what I have seen other people say about the modern version of this perfume, is that they do, get a flash of nostalgia, because it does smell just like, the perfume they smelled off of their mother or their grandmother many decades ago. So that's pretty much it. So overall, a very spicy, very kind of warm and borderline smoky, just kind of natural scent. And I would personally, if I had to rate it, say 1 out of 10, I would probably give it maybe an 8.5, or it's not quite a 9, but almost. It's pretty high, maybe 8.5 or 8.75, something like that. So pretty high on my list. Other than that, if you have any opinions about this perfume, you can leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.